guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be episode 69 for you guys. Today, this will be a solo episode, just your host only this week. Of course, this episode is going to be coming out on all four of our platforms: our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the first segment of episode 69, where I'll be talking about the two quarterbacks who are both put their teams in great position in the early part of the season. The two quarterbacks that are responsible for both of their teams being undefeated at the end, heading into week 4, I should say. So I will be talking about which quarterback has looked more impressive so far this NFL season: Jalen Hurts or Tua Tagovailoa. Like I just mentioned, both quarterbacks have been absolutely flawless, nearly flawless throughout the first 3 weeks of football. Both are doing great things. Both young, talented quarterbacks coming from Alabama. Once upon a time, played on the same exact roster in Alabama. Both guided the Alabama Crimson Tide to a national championship, with both quarterbacks were on the roster a few years ago. Fast forward, both of these guys are up-and-coming stars in the National Football League, and I will say I'm proud of both of these quarterbacks, because I've said countless times on the podcast before the season started that these are the two quarterbacks that were tied for first between Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa that were under the most pressure to succeed this season, due to the fact that both franchises could move on from Tua. The Dolphins could move on from Tua this NFL offseason or in the NFL draft. And the same with the Philadelphia Eagles if Jalen Hurts goes downhill from this point on, because they'd have two first-round draft picks next spring in the NFL draft. So that's why I said both these quarterbacks were under the most pressure to succeed before the season started. Now they're both looking good, and I will say they're both exceeding both of my expectations. They look good. I just have nothing bad to say. Both are on the right track. Both have their teams undefeated. The two only undefeated teams heading into week 4 are the Philadelphia Eagles and the Miami Dolphins. But I will have to say that Tua Tagovailoa has looked the most impressive between Jalen Hurts and himself. And let's dive into the reason why I have Tua Tagovailoa being the more impressive quarterback than Jalen Hurts at this point. He has helped the Miami Dolphins in a loaded AFC conference become the best team in the AFC as of right now. Again, both of these teams are the two undefeated teams left heading into week 4. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles are in the NFC and the Miami Dolphins are in the AFC. The AFC is the way better conference in football this year, and the Miami Dolphins have went head-to-head playing AFC opponents so far. Tua has more credible wins than Jalen Hurts at the moment. You look at week 1, their opponents week 1, week 2, week 3. Week 1, the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa helped the Miami Dolphins decimate and dominate the New England Patriots. Then you move on to Baltimore week 2, where they had one of the greatest NFL, if not the greatest NFL comeback, and being down by 21 points in the fourth quarter. With 12 minutes left, Tua Tagovailoa did everything he could to help the Miami Dolphins win. Had a game-winning drive. Had 6 touchdowns playing against the Baltimore Ravens. Threw for over 400 passing yards and picked up the biggest win of his young career so far. Then you go on to last Sunday when they played the Buffalo Bills. They beat the best team in the National Football League, the Buffalo Bills. Beat them at home, outstanding win. I think those 3 wins, the New England Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Buffalo Bills, Tua is responsible for all those wins. Now, you look at Jalen Hurts' resume, you might say, well, Jalen Hurts is undefeated. Why are you not giving him credit? I'm giving him credit, but Tua's wins are more credible than Jalen Hurts' wins. Jalen Hurts faced the Detroit Lions in week 1. He faced the Minnesota Vikings in week 2, and he faced the Washington Commanders last week in week 3. Tua Tagovailoa's wins look more credible, in my opinion, and a lot of you guys watching and listening, his wins are just more credible than Jalen Hurts. He's definitely played better competition than Jalen Hurts. Again, not taking anything away, but that is one of the reasons why I think Tua has looked more impressive so far. Another reason, Tua Tagovailoa has more passing yards than Jalen Hurts at the moment. He has 925 passing yards. Jalen Hurts has 916 passing yards. Tua Tagovailoa has thrown 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions so far. Jalen Hurts has thrown 4 touchdowns so far. And Jalen Hurts, and I would say in the interception department, Jalen Hurts has 1 interception. Tua Tagovailoa has 2 interceptions at the moment. So Jalen Hurts is leading in that category. Tua Tagovailoa has a QBR currently of 82.8. Where does that rank in the NFL? That ranks first in the National Football League out of all starting quarterbacks in the National Football League today. Over names of Patrick Mahomes, over names of Josh Allen, over names of Lamar Jackson, over names of Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. I can keep going on and on and on. Tua Tagovailoa ranks first in QBR for a guy who I've said I have an issue. I am concerned about his accuracy, concerned about how he can move the ball up and down the field. He's proven me wrong so far with a QBR of 82.8 leading the National Football League. You look at Jalen Hurts, who's doing a great job throwing the ball as well. I've said things about his ability to move the ball up and down the field. He's proven me wrong as well with a QBR of 74.7. That's 5th in the National Football League. So both of these quarterbacks are looking very impressive. Again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I'm directing that towards both Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts for their red hot starts in the month of September, having both of the franchises in great position, being the Eagles being the best team in the NFC, the Miami Dolphins being the best team in the AFC. But how will things look for both of these quarterbacks come the end of Week 18? Will these teams be playoff teams? Time will tell. Who will be the better quarterback between Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts? Time will tell. But I will say, this is great for the National Football League, watching 2 quarterbacks that have played for the same, are on the same roster for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Like I said moments ago at the beginning of the segment, both of them have turned out to be pretty good in the beginning of the season, and it looks like these guys are not going to keep their foot off the pedal. We'll see. Time will tell. But as of right now, I will say Tua Tagovailoa has looked like the better quarterback than Jalen Hurts because, again, of the credible wins that he's mounted up, the stats, passing yards, touchdowns thrown, and the QBR those are the icing on the cake for me, and that is why I believe Tua Tagovailoa has looked more impressive than Jalen Hurts so far.